Hi, welcome.
Hi, SC. Thanks so much for having us today. Would you mind giving us a quick tidbit about yourself?
Absolutely. I'm SC Moatti. I'm the founder and president of Products Account. We're a platform that engages over 300,000 product managers. And I'm also the managing partner of Mighty Capital. We're a venture capital firm. Why don't you come on in?
Awesome. So I'm curious about your path to the product world and how you ended up where you are today. Would you mind sharing a little bit about that?
Yeah, for sure. So I grew up in Paris, in France, and studied electrical engineering there. And then moved to California to get my MBA at Stanford. After that, I became a product manager, and I did that for about 10 years, working for my own companies, which were smaller, and then for big companies like Facebook or Meta, as it is called today, and Nokia and Electronic Arts. And then for the past 10 years, I've been a venture capitalist. And the transition from product managers to venture capitalists is when I was invited to write a book on what makes a great product, which sparked a lot of conversations and sparked the creation of Products That Count as it is today.
So what does it mean to be a product-first organization?
Yeah, so it's a really good question, and it's especially current now after the pandemic. And I think the key change is to say product is becoming a strategic function. So what does that mean to be a strategic function? It means that if you're the CEO of a product-first company, you have to expect that product is going to return like ROI, revenue, cost reduction, productivity boost. And so that means that if then you're thinking about, okay, what does that mean to drive revenue, for example? It means that product is directly tied to sales. Product is part of the sales process. Product managers are buyers of technology. So what it means is that you change your go-to-market strategy to include product. You do product-led growth. You do various strategies that involve product leaders, product managers in your sales cycle. It also means that the way you build product is different. And in most large organizations, believe it or not, but products are still built by IT organizations, and they don't know what makes a great product. And so you have to change that responsibility, move it to the product organization. And so when you do that, it means you change the culture of your company. So it's a massive transformation, basically.
So you're both a product leader and a venture capitalist. What advice do you have for others that may be interested in a similar career path?
Yeah, that's a great question. So there are similarities and then there are differences. The similarities, when you think about how to prioritize your roadmap, you're basically making investments. And so the skill set of prioritization, of selection, of what to build is very similar to the selection of what companies to invest in. But there are also some differences, and the key one for me was to switch from a mindset of saying yes to everything to saying no to almost everything. Because as a product manager, you're in the yes. You say, yes, we'll build this. Yes, we'll deliver on time. Yes, we'll make the extra effort. But as an investor, your job is to be hyper selective. So most of the time, you actually say no to people who are asking you to invest money. That's a key mindset shift. Now, why don't I go make some cocoa for us?
That sounds good. Thank you.
All righty. This is actually not coffee. This is brewed cocoa. So it's prepared just like coffee in a French press, but it's not coffee beans. It's cocoa beans. So there's a little bit of an acquired taste because it's more bitter, but it has no caffeine. And it's unlike chocolate, it doesn't have calories either. So you can drink as much as you want.
So SC, the economy is on the top of everyone's mind right now. What do you think product leaders and managers can do to adjust to and thrive in shifting market conditions?
Yeah, so it's obviously a completely different environment post-pandemic than it was before the pandemic or even during the pandemic. That means a number of things. One is it's a huge opportunity for product. And two, it also means an adjustment for product. So the huge opportunity is we have now proven with the pandemic that product can be both a product and a channel. which means massive opportunities for product managers. The product management function, as a result, is growing super fast. Like 3 out of 4 product managers has been on their jobs for 2 years or less, just to give you a sense of all the opportunities. And then if you look at the top of the pyramid of product, today 15% of Fortune 1000 companies have a chief product officer. And we think that in 5 years, 70% of Fortune 1000 will have a chief product officer. So same thing, there's like huge opportunity to become a product manager, and then huge opportunity to build a career and become a chief product officer. And that's really accelerated with the pandemic. Now, on the other hand, now we're also in a recession, or close to a recession, whatever we call it. And so it means that product has to really adjust to be a lot more strategic and a lot more focused on controlling cost or reducing cost and improving productivity. So products that will help do that include like low code, no code tools, asynchronous collaboration, things like that. So that's a massive change and a source of innovation and opportunity in product. Now, I'd love to sit down. It's kind of comfortable over there. Let me go there. Do you want to come with me?
Yes. So SC, in your opinion, what makes a great product manager?
Right. It's a great question because it's something that's really hard to define depending on what stage of the life cycle your product is on, depending on what kind of product you work on, what kind of experience you have in the past. And I'll give you an example. Every year, we have an advisory board of product leaders, and we ask them, like, what are the superpowers that every product manager needs to have? And every year, they come up with a different set of competencies. There's about 20 of them. The key ones that are always there: communication with cross-functional stakeholders, prioritization, being able to make decisions. And then the third one, which I think is really important, is the ability to leverage tools to accelerate your superpowers. When I was building products, it was a long time ago, but basically you had Word and PowerPoint and Excel. Today there are thousands of tools and platforms that allow you to be much better at communicating effectively, prioritizing, building your roadmap, evaluating what works, what doesn't work, testing what works, what doesn't work. If you don't understand this ecosystem and don't take advantage of it, then you're literally falling behind as a product manager.
And shifting gears a little bit, what products are you excited about right now?
Okay, that's easy, but I need to get on the whiteboard to share that with you. So let me do that. Okay, you're ready?
Yes, I'm ready for the products.
So it's 1, 2, 3, right? You need to be strategic, so you need to increase revenue. And so that tools that drive product-led growth, tools that change the go-to-market to include product in it, like I love those, right? That's what I'm excited about. The second thing is reduce costs. So tools that are like low code, no code, and there are many like across industries, across geographies, for different maturity of products. Like I love those too, right? Cost, revenue, it's simple. Third one, hey, is productivity. If you're able to do more with less in this environment, like I love that. So we talked about asynchronous collaboration. Like, I love those tools. And when you think about like my favorite products, like if they don't fall into either one of these 3 buckets, I don't want to look at them. They're not my favorite products. Okay, let's go and sit down.
So SC, how can PMs balance the needs of customers, the needs of the broader business, and the needs of cross-functional stakeholders all at once?
Yeah, and obviously that's the art of being a product manager. So there's a couple of things that you can do to accomplish that. And it includes being data-driven, but then also looking at the bigger picture beyond the data. So if we start with being data-driven, the first thing you want to do is you want to look at what we call the product equation. Like, how do you tie what you're building to the bottom line of your organization? Driving revenue, reducing costs, improving productivity. And so how do you basically build an ROI or a model for everything that you're building? And that will be driven by data. You want to instrument and measure everything you do. And if you do that, you're going to be ahead of 80% of all organizations. But then there's a 20% additional, which is what I actually wrote in my book, Mobilized, and feel free to check it out, which is how you build products beyond the numbers, how you build products that make us better people. Because when you think about it, technology is an extension of ourselves. So building great products, it's actually making us better people. To describe that, I use a framework that I call the mobile formula that says there's a mind, body, spirit to building great products. So you want to take both into account. The product equation based on data, and then the product formula based on that mind, body, spirit.
And what can PMs do to stay on top of the market and competition?
Yeah, so in an environment like this one where we're seeing a market correction, the first reaction is panic. Okay, so turn off the news and focus on what's going to make your product great. And in the short term, it's definitely like controlling costs, making sure you do more with less, and focusing on like driving value and being efficient. But that's only going to do one small thing for you, which is get you through the short term. In 6 months, when the market turns around, innovation is going to pick back up. You're going to need to grow again. You're going to need to build new stuff again. So if you cut too much now, you will be in a weak position in 6 months. So if you think about like how you categorize that as a PM, you're going to say, okay, early 2023, ROI is going to trump growth. But in the later part of 2023, innovation is going to trump ROI. So you want to be balancing, controlling the cost, improving productivity with continuing to innovate.
And last question for you today, what advice do you have for product managers that are looking to climb the career ladder?
Yeah, so we talked about it a little bit at the beginning of this conversation. You basically want to do more than just being a great PM, which you already are. You want to be part of the product conversation, so it can be joining or shaping or driving the conversation. Joining means you have a presence on social, you attend various community events, you're part of what makes the product conversation vibrant. Shaping means you actually start to be a part of it, so you're a speaker on a panel, you comment on various articles and blog posts and videos, and then driving the conversation. You write the articles yourself, you're the featured speaker, you participate in defining the products of the future.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for having us in the lovely Products That Count office. We hope to see you again soon.
Oh, thank you so much for coming. That was fun.